one thing that I'd also love to get your point of view on is, yeah, a lot of B2B marketers think that, oh, well, when it comes to social media, yeah, I'll do LinkedIn, or I can certainly maybe do YouTube and use some targeting levers there. But I don't feel like Facebook, for example, is a place where B2B marketing is expected, right,
Yeah.
by the
Yeah.
consumer, because the person's in a different mode. But you know, other than telling the person, well, you're selling to a human, and humans actually also spend time, in different places. What's the sort of way of getting the people over that? And then if they say, okay, yeah, sure, let's do Facebook, you know, what are
Yeah.
some tricks with regards to B2B? Because
Yeah.
it's sometimes more, especially if even the client thinks their industry is boring,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Now, we won't talk about which B2B industries are boring, but there's a lot where we might say, like, okay, this is going to be a tough one to
Yeah.
create content.
Yeah.
So how do you get people jazzed, and then kickstarted into using Facebook in particular as a B2B
Yeah.
marketer?
Yeah. So Kevin, let me address that in two angles. One's a strategic angle and one's a tactical angle. So the strategic angle, like you mentioned, is about relationships, and people buy from people. And from B2B, you're trying to drive these leads to turn into sales. You run through, your Salesforce CRM, qualified one, marketing qualified, sales qualified, all that stuff through different stages. And it's through the trust, as you guys know, like, and trust. People attend a webinar, they meet you at a trade show. It's always about personal relationships. So when you tell stories, not just the CEO, but other people and customers, and you're providing knowledge in a 3-stage funnel, which is, Facebook has the awareness, consideration, conversion. Google has the same phases. Twitter has the same phases. LinkedIn, run ads, awareness, consideration, conversion. You have to create content that way, because you're going to generate more warm leads, which generates more content, which helps your SEO, which builds your list and all those kinds of things. So it's just better to talk to warm leads than it is to talk to just random sorts of people, or cold call them, or cold email them. And there's nothing wrong with cold emailing if that's what you want to do. But the idea of social media won't work for me. Facebook won't work for me because we're in a boring B2B industry and we're not sports, media, and entertainment, right? Well, the algorithm knows what all those different pockets are. So you're not trying to become Jake Paul. You're trying to reach exactly your audience, and the algorithm will do that if you put the right signal in there. So that's the strategy. Tactically, the way you execute that is this. First is you start at the bottom of the funnel. You're not trying to build this giant audience. Because if you try to pollute yourself by getting 10,000 followers on your page, or just trying to get 1 million views, well, you're going to end up having cat photos that win, and your system will end up promoting this stuff. And that's not going to generate the kinds of leads and sales, not the kind of deals that you want for B2B. So you start at the bottom, which pushes in a high quality signal. So what's the best quality signal? Remarketing. So if you have your Facebook pixel that's tied into your tag manager, then you're going to remarket against anyone who's been to any one of your key assets. And then you have a site-wide 28-day target of anyone who's on the website. And then you have your email segmented through your Marketo or HubSpot or whatever it is, where you have these different lists. So you're going to use your web and email audiences bottom of funnel for Facebook for remarketing. Thus, anyone who has been to a landing page, anyone who's become a lead, anyone who's watched a video, anyone who's done anything with you on any other channel other than Facebook, then the next 24 hours, the next 28 days, they're going to see more content with you. So if you have remarketing audiences, let me ask you, how can Facebook not work for you? Isn't that basically free money?